It didn't take long for Iga Świątek to make her name known in the tennis world. The year was 2020, and after having a great run at the Australian Open, Iga would go on to conquer her first Grand Slam and skyrocket into the world top 20, as it was clear she was going to become a superstar. That success reflected itself in and outside of the court as the young Pole got major sports sponsorships. But just how good was 18-year-old Iga Świątek? 2020 was Iga's breakout year as her pro training paid off big time. She kicked things off with a strong showing at the Australian Open, making it to the fourth round. But that was just the beginning. A few months later, she made history by clinching her first Grand Slam title at Roland Garros, earning herself the title Queen of Clay along the way. But Iga's success was not limited to her singles play alone. She made waves in the doubles circuit too, reaching the semifinals at both the French Open and the Cincinnati Open. This remarkable progress was mirrored in her rankings as she climbed from world number 59 at the start of 2020 to an impressive number 17 by the end of the year. But how soon did Iga's success start impacting her sponsorship deals? Well, she started 2020 by partnering with premium sports apparel brand ASICS even before the Australian Open. The Japanese sportswear company was keen on partnering with younger players, and Iga's success as a junior didn't go unnoticed. As a result of this partnership, the Pole wore the Gel Resolution 8 shoes, and ASICS remained her partner up until early 2023. Now, how did Iga's 2020 season start? The 18-year-old started at the Australian Open against Hungary's Timea Babos and easily overcame her adversary with a straight-set win, without conceding a single break point. Then came Spanish veteran and former world number 6, Carla Suarez Navarro, but Iga didn't falter and took another two-set win. The 18-year-old Pole had just made it to the third round of the Australian Open for the first time. Could things really get any better for her? Her opponent wasn't an easy one, as Donna Vekic was a seeded player. The first set was evenly matched, with Iga showing off an outstanding first serve to score the only breakpoint and take the lead. The second one started with Vekic on top, but Iga won 5 games in a row, scoring 2 breaks to seal the win. The Pole made it to the fourth round without losing a single set. After moving up over 100 spots on the world rankings in 2019, the young Iga started being compared to Poland's former tennis glory, Agnieszka Radwanska. Iga addressed that comparison. She's a perfect example, showing the young players from Poland that we can do it, so that's motivating me. But everyone asks if I'm the next Iga. She made such great results in her whole career that I still have to wait like 10 years to be the same. Iga was on her way to becoming the youngest player since 2007 to make it to the quarterfinals of the Aussie Open. To achieve that impressive stat, she needed to overcome Estonia's Anett Kontaveit. So Iga started on top with an early break, but Kontaveit managed to bounce back with a break of her own. The Estonian star got to serve for the first set, but Iga broke Kontaveit and won the set in the tiebreak. The Pole won the first 2 games in the second set, but was once again unable to hold her serve and committed too many unforced errors, allowing Kontaveit to turn the game around and end young Iga's historic run at Melbourne Park. The numbers don't lie, and Iga was the 7th player with the most aces scored during the Aussie Open at 21 and got a 68.8% conversion rate on her first serve, as well as 52.3% on her second. She also scored 43.9% of her return points. So Iga had an amazing start to her season, and nothing seemed to stop her from claiming a top spot in tennis. But what if the world just stopped? That's pretty much what happened when most countries declared lockdowns as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic. As such, pretty much all the sporting competitions in the world stopped, and tennis was no exception. From small tournaments like the Charleston Open to Grand Slams such as Wimbledon, several tournaments were scrapped from the calendar as there was no ATP or WTA competition from early March to mid-August. Athletes were forced to adapt their fitness regimens and performance nutrition so that they could remain competitive while returning to action. Iga's last tournament before the COVID stoppage was the Qatar Open's second-round defeat against Svetlana Kuznetsova on February 25th. Her first competitive game back took place on August 22nd at the Cincinnati Open, as Iga partnered with Victoria Hrunčáková to take on the Kichenok twins, Nadia and Ludmila. Iga and Hrunčáková got a straight-set win, a scenario that repeated itself in their next round match. Then came a quarterfinal encounter against the American duo of Jessica Pegula and Shelby Rogers. After a set was won by each side, the match was decided via a hard-fought 10-point tiebreak that saw Iga and Hrunčáková take 3 games in a row to win 10-7. The duo then moved on to the semifinals and stood across from the far more experienced team of Nicole Melichar-Martinez and Yifan Xu. It was not meant to be for the European duo, as they lost in straight sets at 4-6, 5-7. After Cincinnati, it was all about singles action for Iga as her attention shifted towards the US Open. Very close to making it into the world top 50, she started her Flushing Meadows run with a straight set win against Veronika Kudermetova. Then came Sasha Vikri, who arrived at the US Open via wild card. Theoretically more accessible than Kudermetova, Iga struggled against Vikri and lost the first set. Despite showing weakness in her service, the 19-year-old got back into the game and took the following sets to make it to the third round at Flushing Meadows for the first time. Iga's third-round opponent was none other than Victoria Azarenka, who defeated the young Pole in straight sets. Iga managed to score 4 breaks in the entire match, but her service proved to be far more inconsistent than Azarenka, who scored 6 break points.
Game and Victoria Azarenka.
The Belarusian legend acknowledged her young opponent's talent right after their encounter. She came out firing the balls. She's so talented. Once again, Iga's numbers at the US Open are nothing short of impressive, as she had a 57.9% conversion rate on her first serve, 44.6% on her second one, and won 47.7% of her return points. But what was Iga's true breakout tournament? After having remarkable runs at the Australian Open and the US Open, there was an anticipation regarding Iga's performance at the French Open after making it to the third round of the clay tournament in 2019. Iga's 2020 French Open run was pretty much a perfect one. The Pole conquered her first Grand Slam without dropping a single set, becoming the first player to do so since Justine Henin in 2007. She overcame the likes of Marketa Vondrousova and world number 1 Simona Halep in crushing fashion. Before the Roland Garros, Iga was yet to defeat a top 10 player, and she did so twice to conquer the Clay Slam. Iga became the first Polish player to reach a Grand Slam final since Agnieszka Radwanska at Wimbledon in 2012, as she defeated world number 4 Sofia Kenin 6-4, 6-1 to become the first player, man or woman, to win a Grand Slam as a Polish citizen, and the youngest player to win the Roland Garros since Monica Seles in 1992 at 19 years and 132 days old.
Porte son premier titre du Grand Chelem, Iga Świątek.
The magnitude of Iga's performance becomes clearer when you look into these stats. She spent a total of 8 hours and 24 minutes playing at Roland Garros, while only losing 28 games, tying with a 1979 Chris Evert at a joint second for the fewest games lost by a Roland Garros champion. The record is set at 20 games and belongs to Steffi Graf since 1978. Iga won 75% of her games, hit 175 winners throughout the entire tournament, and won 61% of her second serve points. She almost repeated that success in the doubles tournament by teaming up with none other than the woman who defeated her in Cincinnati, Nicole Melichar-Martinez. The two made it to the semifinals without dropping a single set, but then lost to Desiree Krawczyk and Alexa Garaci. Once again, Iga's success was far from being only inside the court, as after the season was done, she scored a partnership with Technofiber, a French racket producer that remains connected with her to this day. Young Iga also scored a deal with Rolex, the iconic watch brand that's backed tennis giants like Juan Martín del Potro, Angelique Kerber, and Roger Federer. And guess what? They're still on Team Iga today. So Iga's Roland Garros win made her go all the way up to the world top 20 as she finished the year at number 17. She then closed out her season by receiving both the WTA Most Improved Player of the Year and the WTA Fan Favorite Award. But tell us, what's your take on Iga's 2020 season? Now, the Pole may have conquered her first Grand Slam at 19 years old, but the signs that she was special came earlier than that. To get a better understanding of her rise to stardom, we invite you to watch this video about 17-year-old Iga.